Sparta is a colloquial calling given to the region by its neighbors. The Spartans themselves called their location Lakia, Laconica, or Lacedaemon. But the following should be noted. What is stated above has become the root of Spartan identity: initiations, type of marriage, and women's rights. Today, on Flip Side of History, we'll discuss Sparta. Let's get to it. Keep watching. The main thing in Sparta is patriotism. Patriotism forced them to treat the institution of marriage not as an individual need or want of a man and woman, but as the main civic duty. A Laconian man and woman had to give birth to their own kind, and it includes them being healthy and strong. Transition rituals. Hence, the trials way too severe to turn from a boy into a young warrior. However, there are legends according to which newborns were tested. Allegedly, babies who had physical abnormalities were simply thrown off a cliff. A Spartan of any gender could not be disabled. But it was too early for the baby whose life was spared to rejoice. The cradle where he stayed was specially made rough and hard. Mom or dad did not have the right to raise descendants as they wanted. There was an oral code, according to which the development of the child's strength and endurance as a whole was a #1 priority. The second place was getting used to modesty in life. To begin with, at least in nutrition, the children of families were considered common. They were watched by trained individuals. The more the age of a young Spartan, the more modest rules he had to follow. From 7 to 17 years old, teenagers, even girls at will, stayed in military camps. Immediately they received their, let's say, minimum diplomas. The main classes were exercises for strength, agility, accuracy in fighting skills, and proficiency in that or this skill. And at the last stage of the training, a test for mastery of all types of known weapons at the time. Whether laziness and cowardice were severely punished. Detachments were formed already here. From a group of boys, the leaders singled out the most successful. It could be Spartan military equipment, Corinthian, or even Roman and Macedonian. The training in the respectful manners of fighting was necessary to complete training. The guy became the leader on the battlefield. But even those squad members who didn't become leaders had to seem Superman to any person today. They were tested for strength by the fact that they had to get their food by robbing helots. Obviously, the latter, according to the law, could resist, or at least try to do so. If a pupil of the barracks allowed himself to be killed, then he wasn't mourned, but instead was regarded as a bad warrior. In this way, through methods involving only the harshest conditions, natural selection for the adult Spartan army took place. Wedding ceremony. Though even the Spartan who was honored to become a full-fledged man did not yet receive the right to give birth to offspring, such an honor was awarded only to those who had already spent 10 years in various conflicts involving organized army. According to the laws of Lycurgus, those who wanted to remain bachelors even after the age of 30 were punished in every possible way. How the Spartan male population quenched sexual passion before that, history is silent. In the neighboring city-states, the devil knows what was invented about the cruel and unceremonious Spartans. They allegedly copulated with each other, with sheep, and etc. And it can be assumed that the situation was similar as in Athens, since they themselves made sodomy an official permitted part of the pedagogical process. Most likely, before receiving the right to be with a Spartan woman, the Spartans simply mated with the helots. And yet, the reverence for special love was gassed in one marriage ceremony. The bride of the Spartan was specially cut short in terms of hair, so that she also symbolized masculine beginning. But now the long-awaited finishing line has come. A Spartan young man, cadet, went through the war or multiple wars, becoming a male veteran, and at the same time a voter. One could marry in order to fulfill the very patriotic duty of reproduction, no longer going on campaigns. The elderly were threatened with garrison service in the worst-case scenario for him. Oddly enough, even before the wedding, there were checks. Although wedding trials are a common custom of pretty much all ethnic groups in the world, there is nothing unordinary in this process. The fact that the bride was cut has already been said. And what was the groom supposed to do? It turns out that it's necessary to prepare for the fact that even sexually mature brothers who have passed the tests can finally officially feel the pleasures of intimate contact with his wife. According to the norms of Lycurgus, the girl became the wife of the man and family. The children were not just her or his, but common, and the family grew together. This is about moral training, designed to kill any jealousy. What else? Families wishing to become related had to have something for the ritual exchange of gifts. Otherwise, there simply will be no wedding. In the process of preparing the newlyweds for the ceremony, there was also a meeting of representatives of both clans. By the way, they were not supposed to be close relatives. It was discussed whether the bride liked the bridegroom and whether the groom liked the bride. Since even before that, after the ritual abduction, the future spouses had to cohabit somewhere secretly. After reaching the age of 30, the pure-blooded Spartan man stole a Spartan woman for himself. And now the most unusual part, what was like the wedding itself. The shaved young lady was also dressed as a man. They hid her in a dark room from where she was taken out by the groom, taking off the holding belt, while no one was looking. He carried her to his bed, but probably it would raise this question: why? Well, the man was fully sober. He himself had to spend the night in the barracks according to the old habit. For several days he had to sneak up to the bride secretly. And just after all of these checks for love, care, and authentic feelings and reliability, only then a feast. Holidays and festivals. Carnae are festive days dedicated to the sun. The Dorians, having come here, called the sun Apollo. The days of the sun are the main ones for all Indo-Europeans at the time. But in the south of, for instance, ancient Greek states, the Dorians have preserved more of their customs. They celebrated 9 days at the end of summer. These are military as well as musical competitions. Naked Games are festival events held in July in honor of all the Spartans who fell in battle. They appeared in the year of the 28th Panhellenic Olympiad. As you understand from the name, all these actions were carried out with a minimum of clothes or without any clothing. Being a woman in Sparta. Unlike the ladies of other city-states, girls born in Sparta were free to choose their own fate and inherited property in the same terms as men, but none of them could live simply for the household, since for this there were slaves helots. It was obligatory to essentially learn something from birth, or to be able to entertain honest Spartan people at holidays and festivals, play musical instruments, dance, sing hymns, and then give birth to many children, knowingly that Spartan system could decide their fates in cases of boys and girls, or become a warrior, and then again give birth to children. As you might have understood, giving birth was pivotal in Spartan society. There was no way around it. More so when the legal husband and then his brothers were no longer capable of sexual contact, the spouse who was still suitable for reproduction could and was even obliged to bring a guy from the outside to bed. It's just that in Sparta, no one lived for themselves and perceived marriage in the way we perceive it now, only for fun and intimate pleasures, but obviously after a proof of being suitable to enjoy it. The initiation for Spartan women, even those who did not choose the army, was a test for physical development. It remains to be recalled that some similarities with Spartan customs had the traditions of other ancient Greek regions, the later population of which descended from the Dorians. Athens, Sparta, Macedonia, and the like were not purely focused on improving culture and optimizing infrastructure, but on the eternal seizure of fertile areas along with its population. Well, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it valuable. Leave a like and subscribe for more, and we see you later.